Guess what we're talking about today, folks? Spoilers, I made the thumbnail early this time. Alright, so setting up training blocks or a phasic approach to training is a very useful tool because it kind of in some ways allows you to have your cake and eat it too. What I mean by that is we all have that one or two things that we care more about in the gym or in our training than we do about other things. For some people, it could be their squat. For some people, it could be their bench. For other people, it could be their conditioning. For other people, it could be they want to really prioritize fat loss. And so a lot of us have gone down this rabbit hole of like we get hyper focused on developing this one quality, and then we notice that other things begin to suffer. Well, the phasic approach or setting up training blocks is the way around this. So what you do is you designate a meaningful period of time. So generally, I recommend something to the tune of like 8 to 16 weeks, so 2 to 4 months. And what you do is the things that aren't a priority to you, you bring those down to your minimum effective volume, or MEV for short. Now, to recap what MEV is that is the minimum amount of work that you can put forth in that training that will still yield an effective training effect. So using myself as an example, if I hit a body part for 5 sets, 5 like solid, meaningful sets every other week, it'll usually stay how it is. I don't have to like destroy myself every week in the gym to stay like this. That's minimum effective. So now that you've done that, now that you've pushed most of the things down to minimum effective, you have this huge pool left for recovery that you can fill with extra training volume on that one thing that's really important to you. So right now I'm really focusing on my shoulder girdle, so like traps, rear delts, rhomboids type thing, to assist in my pressing for shoulder stability. So a meaningful amount of my lifting volume is going towards that kind of pulling. My pressing and lower body work is slightly above minimum effective volume, but the thing that I've really pulled back from to make some room for the extra pulling is my conditioning, which is to say, not that I am doing less of it, but I am doing less stressful conditioning to leave room for the rest of me to recover. That's why you see a lot more step mill sessions as opposed to entire weeks of 30K bikes. And I've been at this training block now for about 4 weeks, so I'm gonna let it ride for at least another month, maybe even 2. I like conducting experiments quarterly. And then when I'm done with this, if I'm satisfied, then I might do an 8 to 12 week training block where I focus on something like jumping, or I focus on something like gymnastic skills, or I focus on something like, grappling or pressing or whatever. The key takeaway from this video, folks, is that you don't have to work on everything all at the same time. That's how you get burnt out. There's that saying, chase 2 rabbits and you lose them both. This is why for long-term athletic success, long-term diet success, long-term career progression, education, things of that nature, the phasic approach allows you to put forth your concentration and efforts where they're needed, but not to the expense of other areas. You just aren't developing them with the same amount of rigor that you are that one thing. And you can literally apply this phasic approach to just about anything in life, to include skill development. Learning a new language, you might spend a training block where you just memorize vocabulary. Then you might spend another training block where you really focus on getting your basic grammar down. You might spend a training block where you really focus on your reading and writing ability, and another where you spend several weeks just working on your listening and speaking. Like Musashi says in the Book of 5 Rings, from one thing learn 10,000. Some of the most effective training systems are just effective systems in general in terms of principle, and all we're doing is applying that principle to our training. So give that a thought, folks. Consistency is a superpower. stay in the fight. Thanks for watching.